I know it's summer and most people are in the summer break. Most people are either preparing for a new year at college, starting work, or just enjoying holidays until the next year starts. But I'd say to take these tips with you at your new year and watch your grades get much better. I feel like these things got me through school, and in hindsight, I wish I learnt this before after failing a few times. The first thing I'd say is to learn the content properly. There's nothing like learning the content properly. Either sit in class or at home if you can't learn at school, but just make sure you get this done. I'm not sure why, but halfway through school, a lot of the good teachers in our school left, and a lot of the new teachers weren't that experienced, and let's just say that we didn't learn a lot. Remember in my school, a lot of people just mess about during class time. When it's time for exams, they wouldn't know what to do. Exam skills probably just 20% of your grade and 80% is knowledge of the content. Nowadays, you've got AI as well, so you can just get a summary and ask AI questions so you can understand the content better. I honestly wish we had that. But once you know the content, then you can get to tip 2, which is to go through past papers. I used to write neat revision cards for each topic, and I used to have huge stacks of them on my desk. They were nice to make, but I didn't really learn a lot, especially for exams where I used to struggle a lot. If you go through every past paper from the beginning of the spec, you understand how the examiners want the answers, and a lot of the questions that you've done might come again, but with different numbers or different style of question. Some subjects have 10 years of at least official exam papers for that same course. Go through each of them. Old spec is fine, but a lot of it can be different. Best to ask your teachers on this. But if you were in the same boat as me, having a fairly new spec of a lot of my subjects, then I'd make up the questions, especially with those essay-based subjects. I'd also say to time yourself as well. Then you know how fast or slow you are, where you need to improve. The third tip got me an A in one of my subjects, and it's active recall. There's no better way to remember theories and definitions than active recall. When you officially finish your content, don't waste time and try to do your revision cards. You may prefer online or paper. Whatever you find easier, go for that. Once you're done, go through your revision cards ideally every weekday, on the train or on the bus, etc. Or set out 5 or 10 minutes in your revision sessions before you start. I used to prefer online apps and get the information written down on these apps. They had some functions where they would alter the card deck according to how well you know your cards and how long it took to answer. And a lot of these vision card apps are pretty cool. Blurting also helps. And for those that don't know what it is after you read a certain topic, if you've got a whiteboard at home or you've got some paper, write down the topic in the middle and try to write as much as you can when you try to remember. And after that, just get a different colour pen and write the extra information that you didn't get. And the fourth tip, and I used to struggle with this a lot, is to set time for revision with no distractions. At the start, when I used to revise, I used to have something on the side, whether it's a YouTube video or just something to listen to, like a podcast. But over time, what you realise is that you're not able to actually focus on the content that you've got at hand. If possible, try find a quiet place at home or at school and just try get it done. To keep yourself organised, just have a checklist of what you need done at the start. I prefer weekends or in the mornings. It's quiet and I've seen you get a lot of work done then. Has anyone heard of the Pomodoro technique? I think that works the best and I've used it throughout my school years. I'd spend about 20 minutes of work, and obviously you can change it around according to your convenience, then 5-10 minutes of break after each session. After around an hour, I'd take a bigger break. Revising for 3 hours straight is just not possible, and you're going to get burnt out very quick. The final tip is just don't cram before the exam. Whatever you do, don't cram. Before the exam, just read over all the question papers that you've done. Do some active recall if you'd like. Just go through the revision cards, go through everything you need to do beforehand. If you cram, you're going to end up forgetting a lot just due to stress. And for those people that might not get their exam results that they want, don't worry about it. It's just an exam and hopefully you can get a better result in the next one. I think a lot of people, they get worked up on getting their grades and making sure that they get A's and B's and C's. But you might get a D sometimes. You might fail. But just remember that there's always a next time. And it could be your finals as well. But there's always a plan. And I feel like what a lot of parents do and a lot of teachers do, they make school the be-all, end-all. Just remember, you follow these tips or you've got your own tips, let me know in the comments. But once you go through revision properly and you go through everything that you need to do, don't blame yourself if you don't get the right or the best exam results. There's so many people older than us, etc., that didn't do so good in school, but they ended up getting a good job. They landed an amazing job, getting really good money, and they're relaxing. I feel like this emphasis on doing good at school is just so overrated, and I understand what they mean, but I feel like some people are just not good at school, and it's not anything wrong. Some people are better at trades, and I feel like there should be more emphasis on trade-related courses like plumbing and electrical courses as well. Hope you guys have a good summer, and I wish you guys the best when you guys get back to college, school, or whatever you guys are doing. See you in the next one.